So hello everyone and welcome. Today I wanted to share with you the origin of the spheres meditation, sometimes also known as spheres of light, and actually the origin of this meditation, which is the first time I've put on camera in this form, came back in 2011. I used to sort of share it at live events, the story or the background to it. But for various reasons, it's just never been on camera in this way. So today I'll share that with you. And it also really is the origin of my sharing of the message of spiritual self-realization, non-duality, or enlightenment with the world. So back in 2011, by that time I'd already been meditating for over 11 years. Every day for half an hour, and I'd explored various complementary routes, which included the awakening quantum alignment, the reconnection. I used to teach quantum touch. I'd studied EFT and Reiki and non-personal awareness, and I'd always had a sense at that time that there was a golden thread that was connecting all those things. And in August 2011, that's when this came to fruition in a what you might term lucid type dream, or a heightened state of awareness. Suddenly this very, very kind of powerful energy in the form of or shape of a person appeared, sat at a table with me, and on the table was a manual for something I'd just paid quite a large sum of money for, the Awakening Quantum Alignment, and that was about £600 or something or other, and it was powerful, it was very effective, and that was on the table. And this energy field, which I now realise was awareness, silence, which actually is what we all are, turned to me and said, "You don't actually need that," and took the manual away and said, just use your intention to connect with the spheres. Just use your intention to connect with the spheres. And that was the essence of it. There was a little bit more, but that's not really too important. The key bit was to just use your intention to connect with the spheres. And a few hours later, still lying in bed, I thought, well, as I kind of came to, I remembered what had been shared in that state of awareness. And it said, just use your intention to connect with the spheres. And I thought, well, give it a go. And when I did that, immediately there was a big rush of energy all over my body, particularly around the head. I remember some quite intense sort of heat there. And it felt like some kind of upgrade was going on, an energetic upgrade. And this lasted for quite some time. And before that, having studied these various complementary methods, it had always required some tool, technique, or process. And all that had happened there would just lay there, and it was really what I now call a heart-based intention, just an opening to connect with this energy that's called the spheres. And many things became clear after that, and the reason it's called the spheres, it's like a representation of the universe. You could think of the universe, the infinite silence, as I now call it, an infinite sphere, an infinite sphere. And there are many levels of these spheres, like Russian dolls of existence. I won't go into all of that now, but that's why the term spheres was used. But having had that experience, and I felt like I'd been upgraded to Philip 2.0 or something or other, many insights started to follow. And I actually shared this gift with some friends who became co-founders of what became the Spheres of Light Foundation, the Spheres of Light Foundation. And we did many things together, creating a website and so forth. I'm very grateful to all those people for their support. But each of them, as they tried it at the time when I emailed them, had a similarly quite profound, I suppose, energetic experience. That it was a little bit different to mine, but essentially there was an energetic experience that they experienced just by sitting there or lying there and being open from their heart to connect with the spheres. And many other insights started to flow after that, and a few key ones I'll share with you now. One of them was that the spheres, or spheres of light meditation as it eventually became to be known, is a Genesis meditation, And that means Genesis, as in the biblical term, the beginning. And it turns out that spheres, or spheres of light, as I've often called it, was a representation of what's known in India as Hiranyagarbha, the golden egg of creation, or the golden womb of creation. And that also, by the way, is why my logo is the way it is. You can see it looks like a golden egg or a golden flame. It's representative, even though it's in an egg shape, representative of the birth or creative type energy that this sphere's energy is, or Hiranyagarbha. And it's not only a genesis in terms of the birth of the physical domains and realms that we experience in our human daily lives. It's also a link back, an energetic link back to that which is before the spheres, or Hiranyagarbha, which is the infinite silence itself, the source. I often equate the pure sense I am with Hiranyagarbha, or the spheres, or spheres of light. Pure universal being. So opening to this energy of the spheres from your heart creates a direct portal or link to the silence itself. And that's also why spheres of light, or the spheres, became the first part of what I now share most commonly, which is the infinite silence meditation. And whilst various people over the years have needed more guidance than that, actually the purest form of the spheres meditation is simply just to sit there or lie down and be open from your heart to connect with the spheres. And you can do that for yourself. But I'll record a short piece of that a little bit later. Another key insight that came at the time, which puzzled me a little bit first, and it'll sound a little bit strange when I share it, but the meaning of it, or the pointing in it, became clear in the end after a few weeks. And it was this: I am the wolf that laid the golden egg. I am the wolf that laid the golden egg. And that does sound a little bit strange, doesn't it? But if we just go back a few moments, the golden egg of creation, Hiranyagarbha, spheres of light, That's the golden egg that's being referred to. And you can see that the word I am is there. And that's not a personal I am. It's an infinite, universal I am. And the wolf became clear that actually in some traditions it's a term that's used for guide or teacher. And whilst I don't resonate with the word teacher, because people do experience this spiritual insight and guidance as a teaching, actually ultimately there's nothing for you to learn. But the whole pointing of that insight, I am the wolf that laid the golden egg. The universal I am, Hiranyagarbha, the golden egg, is indeed the golden egg of creation, or the experience or the vehicle through which the many realms beyond the realm of infinite silence, the astral, the causal, and so forth, and the physical realms are created, birthed through that. So that's what that I am, the wolf that laid the golden egg, points to. And it also links closely with the fact that the spheres meditation, just be open from your heart to connect with the spheres. That's why that also is a Genesis meditation. And that leads us nicely to what emerged a couple of years or so later, when the full realization flowered. A key part of that was the realization of infinite silence, and there's a separate video called Self-Realization Experience which you can look at for that. But the simplest version of that meditation, the infinite silence meditation, is simply to be open from your heart to the experience of infinite silence. Be open from your heart to the experience of infinite silence. And you can use these two meditations, or really they're part of one whole meditation, either individually or together, as I most often do when I'm guiding people. And many other insight phrases have come that I've shared with people over the last 14 years to help people that might need a little bit more guidance than just those two key phrases. Be open from your heart to connect with the spheres, and be open from your heart to connect with the energy or the experience of infinite silence. That's the background to it, that's the essence of it, and that's the ultimate simplicity of it. And you might like to give that a try and share your experiences, whether it's on the Living Soul app or on my YouTube channel, wherever. Just be completely open. There's nothing for you to do here. There's no need to visualize spheres. There's no need to try to do anything. Nothing to do. Just simply sit. Close your eyes. And the moment that you've chosen or set the intention of actually being open to that, then the intention is already set. There's nothing for you to think about or try to do or try to experience. It's simply about being open to that. It's as simple as that. And I'll record a separate, really probably 1 or 2 line video for this. But if you want to just try that now, you can pause the video after I've said the line. Just close your eyes. And simply Be open from your heart to connect with the energy of the spheres. And when the time is right for you, just simply, silently, effortlessly open your eyes. And just simply know that this energy of the spheres, or spheres of light, and the awareness of infinite silence is here, now, always.